China and Russia won't fight for Iran. For years, Iran believed it had powerful friends, Russia, China, but as US military pressure intensifies, Tehran is discovering something uncomfortable. Its allies are transactional, not loyal. Since 2018, after the United States exited the nuclear deal, Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, pushed a look east strategy. The logic was simple. If the West isolates us, we pivot to Moscow and Beijing, and Iran followed through. Joint naval drills in the Gulf of Oman, missile cooperation, oil sales to China, military coordination in Syria. On paper, the partnership looked strong. But when it comes to actual war with the United States, the support shrinks dramatically. This week, Russia and Iran held a small naval drill in the Gulf of Oman. China plans to join future exercises in the Strait of Hormuz. Now compare that to US deployments. Carrier strike groups, long-range bombers, advanced air defense systems, weeks-long sustained strike capability. US officials say Washington now has the option of launching a prolonged air campaign, not just a limited strike like the June Midnight Hammer operation. In contrast, Russia's helicopter carrier left immediately after the exercise ended. So why won't China intervene? China is Iran's largest oil customer. Roughly 20% of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz. But Beijing's priority is stability, not confrontation. Aligning openly with Iran against the United States would damage relations with Washington, risk sanctions, endanger Gulf economic partnerships, disrupt global oil flows. China's approach is clear. Preserve oil access, avoid direct conflict, position itself for influence if Iran's leadership changes. If the regime collapses, Beijing will secure energy flows, not defend Tehran militarily. And what about Russia? Moscow has benefited from Iran. Drone cooperation, sanctions evasion networks, regional coordination, but Russia is calculating carefully. It does not want to push Trump closer to Ukraine, risk direct US-Russia confrontation, stretch its own military capacity. Russian leaders may hope the Iranian regime survives, but they are unlikely to go to war with the United States to save it. Iran still holds leverage. It can disrupt the Strait of Hormuz regional oil infrastructure. US bases via proxies. Around 20% of global oil flows through Hormuz. That is Tehran's deterrent. But escalation there would also hurt China, its biggest customer, which is another reason Beijing prefers restraint. The narrative of a unified anti-Western axis is overstated. Russia and China share interests with Iran, but they do not share existential commitment. If the United States strikes Iran, Beijing and Moscow will calculate based on their own survival, their own economy, their own wars, not Tehran's, and that leaves Iran facing the most powerful military in the world, largely alone.